Welcome back YouTube. Today I take you along on a journey. We're going to go visit the Kloster Lorsch Museum. It's an outdoor museum that has buildings that are constructed similar to those that you find in the Viking Age, which is going to be really exciting because we're reconstructing the roof on the Viking cabin and we're trying to incorporate the construction designs into the fireplace and the ceiling. So let's go check it out. Take you along to this adventure. So here's where we can see how they reconstruct the buildings. They based off of the findings of the 3D model here. For example, the excavation layout of the ground of the wooden posts. That's the only way they were able to assume the above ground construction, which is displayed on the model on the right hand side. So here's one of the first buildings I've been looking forward to seeing. This is a small Grubenhaus, pit house built into the ground, just very slightly. This is a very small version. They're working on actually reconstructing a larger version on the other side. We're really going to be walking past that here in a minute, so I'm really excited to see how far they've been along on that project since I've been here last time. Is that the actual pivot of the door in the frame, the hole for the pin here from the door, from the axle, is actually deeper than the actual height of the door pin, so that you can actually lift the door up into there and out of the bottom, so that you can actually remove the door for whichever reason you may want to do that. That is something to notice, which is really interesting to note, so that I can reconstruct this in a similar manner. So practically, in case you have to make repairs, or maybe just take the door off for any particular reason. So that's pretty cool. Here we have a nice little building. I really like this design. If I had the money to afford that, I'd probably have my Viking hut look like this. A nice reed roof and massive oak boards, a nice massive door. I really like the design. It's about 3 by 5 meters. And the door itself, we're going to go real close. We're going to zoom up to the door here in a second. I'm going to take a look at the construction of the door. Now up here at the door hinges, again, this entire door, there are no metal components whatsoever. It is composed entirely of just the wooden planks that hold it together with these wooden dowels, which is really nice. I like that design. The hinge is let into the frame of the door, and this door particularly is not to be taken out and removed as the other one we had in the previous building. So this is going to be something like I'm looking at right here. This is probably the design that I'm going to try to adapt at my Viking cabin, my roundhouse. I really like this door. So I'll make a couple pictures of this, and let's see what kind of door it's going to be at the Viking cabin when I get finished. So I had to move out of position a little bit because we have people having a conversation over there where I have my tripod, so I just move off to the side so I don't interrupt their conversation. So I'll walk around the building from the outside, from the back, This building is a Roundhouse that they have been working on. Last time I was here about 3 months ago, it wasn't finished. It was still not finished, but its framework is now up, and you can see how the raw building looks before you put on the last outer willow branches. So the main framework is all oak beams that are pinned together in the junctions here with wooden dowels, and you have willow woven in between some braces here to form a core structure of what later will be the walls of the building, which will be coated then with a mixture of some kind of mixture of clay. So it's really interesting to see this building come along now to this step here. I wasn't able to see it yet last time. They haven't finished this far, so this is pretty cool. I come here every couple months to see what's new, so this is a surprise for me to see. I've actually been able to work on this a little bit. That's really cool. Let's move on to the next building. So here we have a Grubenhaus, a really nice one, where you can see the outside is actually the clay is already applied to the wall, and this is what it would look like in the finished state. There's some cool items there displayed on the inside of this, but we can't go inside there right now. There's too many people. But we'll focus in here on the table here. They have an actual saw here that is a replica of a Mastermere find, which was actually found. It's a replica from a finding of a grave site, which is identical to the Mastermere saw that was in the Mastermere finding in the box, which was really cool. So let's move on to the next building now. So here we're actually inside that building that we were just standing out inside in front of. And here we can see a shaving horse. This is a small indoor workshop. There's a small bench over there with some odds and ends for wood turning. There's a draw knife and a chisel for the lathe over here, which is really cool. I like that. That's the actual project that I'm planning to incorporate also at the Viking Camp. A actual woodworking lathe, which is to make some really cool things for the camp. And what I have to also notice here, up here, I'm going to film, if you get the camera turn up, is this really awesome shelf. I'm going to have to zoom into that. That is so cool. Look at that shelf. That is, it looks like hazel that they used. And the supports for the actual shelf itself are actually just nailed straight into the construction, and it looks really, really cool. We're gonna have to incorporate something like that as well at the camp. So it's starting to rain here a little bit. We have to speed up our visit just a little bit, so we're gonna go over to the next building now. Let me get this walk over there and just take a look. This is really cool. I figured this would be worth a quick snapshot here. This is where they store their hay for the animals, so it can sit there and dry, and that's really cool. I thought I'd share that. This is really important because you have to have somewhere to put your hay, and you don't want to leave it out in the weather. And these silos are a really cool incorporation of how it would have been back in the day to store the animals' food. So this is really cool. I thought I'd come over here and share this. This caught my attention from clear across the way. This is a iron bloomery, where they would fire the raw iron and produce bloom steel, which is the raw form of steel that they had back in the Middle Ages. And it's something I really admire a lot because it's in the trade of the blacksmith, and I really always wanted to actually make one and make some of my own bloom steel. That's a project for another day that I really am looking forward to. But this is an actual restovers of a hands-on experiment that they did here at the site, and it's displayed here to show what that would look like from the inside after they've removed the bloom steel, and to demonstrate the construction of such a device here. So it's really, really awesome. Behind me is the Blacksmith Shop. We're going to swing over to that right now and see what we can cool. We're at the Blacksmith Shop. So over here you see the actual forge. You have the bellows, to the side right here. You zoom in. Yeah, you have the bellows on the right hand side and the actual forge over here on the left, which would be a side draft forge. And that's really interesting. This anvil here is not very historically correct, but it's for demonstration purposes, and I'm sure they use it here to make things for the actual site here as well. And we're going to take a look over here at the workbench and zoom back out, and we're going to focus. There we go. Look at that workbench. That is some really cool construction. Massive oak and wooden dowels and some of the tools there. See if we can go in and get a better look at the tools. We're going to have to ask for permission first though. I had to take the tripod off. This is going to be a little bit wheelie, but here we can actually get in here. They allowed us to stand in the door to make a better picture. So here's some of the tools of the blacksmith. You have your nail iron there for making nails. I'm going to try to get the focus as best as I can freehand. So this looks like a couple of blade rollings here, and it looks like a kiln of some kind, of some sort, for melting metals. We're just going to do a quick run around in here. We have some coals, charcoals, and up there's some of your tools. Now I really like how this lamp hanger is constructed here. You can actually nail it to the wall right there, and it has a swinging pivot for this little lantern here. There's a little oil lamp to hang from, and you can pivot, swing it left and right, which is cool. I think I'm going to have to make one of those. We have some over here. You have some of the hinges that the blacksmith has been working on. The light here, kind of dark in here. The focus is really off a little bit, but it looks like he's working on some projects here that are hanging here ready for him to keep working on. Yeah, and then here's the rest of the workshop. Outside they have a really nice display. We're going to swing over and see that now. But it was really nice of them to allow me to step in here and take a good look at all these nice objects here. Look at that. It's like a master mirror, replica of the master mirror find right there. So here we're outside at the blacksmith shop, and here you can see a typical anvil that you would find only in a special place where there was a lot of wealth, like at Haitabu or Hedeby, where you could actually use to make swords. The usual typical anvil that you would find to this day and age for a usual blacksmith shop would be something more of a stump anvil size that you could probably see in the back picture over here, in the very back. And over here you have the typical side blast forge with the clay, which is a project that we're going to incorporate here at the Viking Camp here soon. Let's get a quick look inside there. The air comes in from the sides and is blown into the charcoal right here, and that's how the blacksmith heats up his metal here. So the forged bellows were actually the ones we saw inside. They were able to keep them in the building for safekeeping. So let's move on to the next building. Stone to sharpen your knives or your tools. This is a very simple construction. You have a very simple 2 posts sunk in the ground with an axle and a pivot, and a sandstone specially made to fit with a square center drive. Very, very simple and very efficient. This is something we'll be incorporating at the blacksmith shop very soon here at the Viking Camp. a look at this nice garden. I think I'm gonna make a couple of raised beds like this myself. So we're here. Here's another longhouse. I really like the benches. Kind of leaning in the window here. It's kind of difficult to see. Got some storage up there on the boards. Nice table. It's very drafty up under here. You can get over there. There's the entrance. We're gonna go film over there from the door inside. They probably have some kind of display. This is really cool. I really like this. So now I'm peering through the window of a small building. Since this area here was built up on in the area of a monastery, a lot of this furniture here, as this podium right here, is Christian inspired, from Karl the Great, from that area, from that era of German history. So there's some of the things here you would have. Lead printing tablets. A kuksa. There's a nice knife there. Yeah, and you have a little chest there full of some things, some scriptures and scrolls, and you'd have a leather parchment drying over there. It's for parchment for writing. Yeah, and that, I don't know what it is. That might be for keeping bees. Yeah, probably for beeswax. Yes. Yeah, and a bed. So that's not typical Viking age bed right there, but it is from the time and day you would find here in Europe and some of the Christian settlements. So that's something displayed here as well. So that'll be all for today. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Click the like button and the bell if you like the channel and you'd like to see more videos like this, to let YouTube know to recommend videos to you from my channel. So like always, stay safe and see you soon.